Hi, my name is Shaiva and we have Dr. Cholie Carmichael with us. She's a clinical psychologist. Yes, am I right?
That's right.
Okay, and we have few questions for her that can shape your future and your future relationship. So the first question to you is, what should one do if they're suffering from mood swings?
Sure. Well, if you're suffering from mood swings to the point where it's interfering with your daily life, then absolutely you should go see a professional mental health counselor to get input on that. But if you're just dealing with a little bit of ups and downs and you want to try to understand them better, then I would encourage you to find out, try to notice for yourself what those ups and downs tend to arise around. So if you tend to have mood swings when the subject of relationships comes up or when the subject of your professional life comes up, then actually go ahead and spend some time thinking about the issue that's provoking the mood swing. Or just in general, a lot of people have great success with mindfulness meditation. It helps them learn how to observe themselves and calm themselves down.
Okay, great. What can one do apart from taking pills in case of insomnia or any kind of sleeping disorder?
Sure. Well, again, I have to say, of course, you should always go see your medical doctor if you're having significant disturbances with sleep. But a sleep routine is always a really good part of sleep hygiene. So for a lot of people, a good sleep routine means having a nice warm shower, turning off all of their technology, maybe around 8:30, reading a peaceful book. A lot of times also clients tell me that they get into bed and their mind just won't shut off and they're thinking about all the things that they have to keep doing the next day. So in situations like that, I actually encourage people to write down all the things that are on their mind, because your mind is probably actually thinking of some really good stuff, wanting to make sure that you don't forget things, and it's trying to prepare you. And unless you go ahead and write those things down, then your mind thinks it has to keep them active.
Yeah, that actually happens. If one suffers from loss of energy or fatigue, what can be done?
Well, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but if you're suffering from a significant loss of energy or fatigue, then you should absolutely go see your medical doctor. It could be a medical issue or a vitamin issue or something like that. If all of those things are in order, then it might just simply even be that you need a vacation. Sometimes the mind really benefits from a good, genuine break. Also, sometimes we feel fatigue or lack of energy when we're not connected to our purpose, when we're not really sure why we're doing all the things that we're doing. So spend some time and think about, why you're going to work. If it's to provide for your family, or if it's because you want to make social change, or if it's because you want to enable yourself to go travel. And then get some visual imagery that keeps it really clear for you why you're doing what you're doing, so that you can stay connected and focused.
Yeah, it's all about finding the purpose of what you're doing, which like a lot of people don't have. They just go to the office in the morning, come back, and then they think that why they're doing it, right? So I think it's majorly to find why they are doing it and for what they want to do it, right?
Exactly. Purpose and fulfillment.
Yes. Okay. How can one forgive others, or for a matter, forgive themselves at the first place, or to let go the guilt?
Well, that's an important question. Guilt is something that a lot of times in our society, we want to just say, oh, no guilt, guilt is bad, I'm done with guilt. But actually, guilt serves a genuine purpose. So we do best to work through guilt instead of trying to get rid of guilt. So if there's something in your life that's provoking a feeling of guilt, I would actually encourage that person to explore it. So maybe do some journaling, write down whatever the situation is, write down what it is that you wish that you would have done differently, and that's how you're able to forgive yourself, by going back to look at the situation and realize, maybe I didn't have the tools at that time, I didn't have the self-awareness at that time, and that's why I acted the way that I did, but now I've learned and I would do things differently, and that's how you can really work through the guilt and use it to grow, as opposed to just trying to deny it.
Yeah, and how to forgive oneself?
That's how you would forgive yourself.
Okay.
How you would forgive others?
Yes, that is also my question. How do you forgive others if they have done something wrong with you?
Well, it depends situation, but sometimes we have to realize that we want to put a little bit of distance between ourselves and somebody else. So if somebody does something to me, and part of my forgiveness process for them is to realize that they really don't know any better, that they're so emotionally immature that I just can't expect better from them. That might be part of how I forgive them, but then part of that process also means that I'm not going to put them in that position again of being able to disappoint me.
Yeah, or perhaps give some time to yourself and to that person. Probably the expectation was not real and therefore you got hurt. So I think, would time help in order to forgive somebody?
Sure, time can help. One of the things that time does is it gives the opportunity for the other person to have insight and maturity, for them to be able to look back and reflect. Also, as you said, it's possible sometimes that it's due to a lack of clarity about expectations. So if, for example, we're talking about forgiveness for infidelity, but you never made it clear to your partner that you expected monogamy, then absolutely that's more about your own expectation level. On the other hand, if you've had a partner that's been unfaithful and you've realized that they're just not capable of anything better, they're not capable of controlling themselves, that's part of how you might forgive them, but you might also have to recognize that they're not the right partner for you. And then alternatively, part of a forgiveness process can also happen if the person demonstrates responsibility. So if the partner has been unfaithful, but then they say, well, I feel really bad, I'm going to go to counseling, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to improve myself, then that can help to stimulate the forgiveness too.
Yes, I agree. The last question, what must one do in order to stop overthinking, which is kind of a habit of everybody that we meet?
Absolutely. In my practice, because I work with high-functioning people, a lot of them have a very active mind, and that's one of the questions that I get a lot, is they call it, analysis paralysis. I keep thinking and I can't stop. So one of the things, as I mentioned before, is mindfulness meditation. That really helps people. Another thing that I like is called the zone of control. So if you're trying to, say, decide about a certain situation, you're trying to approach a certain situation, then you, on one side of a paper, you list all the factors about that situation that you can control, that you can impact. And then on the other side, you list the factors that you cannot impact. And then you deliberately have to choose to focus your energy only on the things that you can control.
Yeah.
Right. And you can learn more about that. I actually have a website for that. It's called anxietytools.com.
Anxietytools.com. Okay. Definitely, that helps. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Chloe. It was really nice meeting you.
My pleasure.
For more such videos, keep tuning to PreventiveCareToday.com.